Welcome back, Out-of-Body Explorers. I am back, and I want to talk about my Out-of-Body Experience retreat in 2019 with Todd Acamesis. So this is a video about that, but I'm also telling you that you need to find your niche in this practice because they will help you get to another level, meaning your group in itself. So you need to find that kind of vibration, and that's why I'm putting this video out, because when I went on this retreat, 27 of us helped each other vibrate and helped us go to different places as out-of-body explorers. Now, the other thing I also want to talk about is if you're actually part of this whole system, knowing that we have timelines that could be corrected, you are already finding that niche. That's like having a Close Encounters of the Third Kind where they're all meeting at Devil's Tower. Yeah, I know. That's a true movie, so you should rent that. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Don't forget. Okay, so these people meet each other, and that's where you should be at if you're looking to do what I'm doing. Now, let's get back to my out-of-body experience retreat in 2019. And I want everybody to know that astral projection is something that's what the body does. We astral project, but ultimately we are having an out-of-body experience, and that makes me an out-of-body explorer. And that's why when Todd says out-of-body explorer, I like that saying, because what we do is astral project, but we are exploring in another dimension or other universe. So I want everybody to understand that, because I have to do a bunch of TikToks on that, because I'm listening to craziness of people that don't even know what they're talking about. So it's really annoying. And I'm also sorry if I didn't answer any other questions, because, I have like a full-time job now, and I don't really do this for a living. I just want to help everybody as much as I can. Now, in November of 2019, I want you to know my life changed for the better, and I had the opportunity to go on this out-of-body experience retreat. Now, I was going to hire Todd as just an individual coach, but then he emailed me back and he said, you can come to this retreat. And I was like, wow, I am dying to go to this retreat. So I couldn't believe that I had an opportunity to do it with a group, although I was nervous because I've never traveled to Europe alone, and that would be like one of the biggest issues. But you know what? I was so gung-ho. I went in 3 weeks. I was already there. I was already on a plane to Barcelona. You go to Barcelona, you get on a bus together with the group that you don't even know. And of course, I was in the back, all quiet and shy. So here are some of the pictures. And we traveled about 3 hours to get to this mountaintop where there was like an old monastery. And it's beautiful because it's all in stone, and it's really just such a pretty place. And here are some of the pictures, okay, of us coming out. It's so exciting for me. And I did have roommates because I was a little afraid of being alone. I didn't want to be alone in a room because I'm already a jumper, and I didn't want to do it alone. So I ended up having 2 roommates who were very inexperienced, and I took that as a sign from God that I'm there to help them get out of the body and explain things. So there was a lot of healing going on in our rooms. Todd gives you soundtracks that he has made so that you do these out-of-body experiences as a practice, but you're not allowed to listen to them until you get there. Now, I didn't listen to them because I'm a good soldier and my coach says no, and so I didn't. But when I got there and he started explaining our first activity, I was shocked. I already did it. I did it a week before, and so that already told me that God was like, you know what? I got very lucky. I was already channeled in onto his vibration, so whatever the activity was, I was able to go. So I put everything on my iTouch, and so we had a afternoon track, a nap track, a supplement track, another supplement track, a wake back to bed track, a wake back to bed mild track, and a wake back to bed strong track. So they were very good. But like I said, I only had to listen for the first 10 minutes. And what we would do on the retreat, here was the schedule. At 4:30 in the morning, we would wake up, all crawling out of bed like the night of the living dead. And he would then pump you up to get you excited to go and do these jumps. So he's giving us our intentions. So we do a wake back to bed, 4:30, come back into our bed, listen to the soundtrack. He tells you what soundtrack. We then do our jumps for 3 hours. I only needed 40 minutes, so I was already prepared. And then after that, you shower, you get ready to have breakfast. And then at 10:30, we would talk about those experiences. And it was so great because you got on a podium, you rang the bell. It was so exciting for me. It was like band camp. So I can't even tell you, I was in heaven for the 9 days because I felt completely normal and I had the vibration of 27 other people just making me jump all over the place. So then later on the afternoon, you got like a couple hours on your own. This is one of the schedules if you want to look at it. And then at 4 o'clock, we'd meet again at the workshop. He would pump us up. And then around 4:30, we go back and do another jump. So then we'd have dinner at 6 p.m. and then I have the schedule right here. I just want to show you. And at 7 p.m. we would have our talk in this cute little den where they built a fire. And so before that, though, there was one day where we had activities, and I want to show you the activities. And they were pretty much expression activities where you express yourself and say who you are and the experiences. So that's one of mine. So that was me. I drew myself. And then I drew my experiences, and am very connected to the pyramids because they kept showing me that, but I had no idea what I was really talking about because I was like, oh, showing me pyramids. And then I also already knew that I met the Inca king, or the Inca demigod of healing. And so I drew that, and of course I do this little sparkle thing coming out because it always reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Where they opened up the ark and all of a sudden these spirits came out. So yeah, I didn't even watch it myself because I was also fearful. So good movie, lots of revealing in that movie too. And so when we did this activity, we also had another, and I don't know, I couldn't find the picture, but it was in a manila envelope. We wrote all our fears. What are our fears? We put in the envelope. We actually sealed it with a wax seal. They took all of our envelopes, we sealed them, and he put them in this chest. And this is the picture of the chest. And the night we did this, the vibration was just blaring. It was phenomenal. It was so strong, and that basically Todd Acamesis froze this whole chest in the fire. And let me show you what the fire looked like. And now I have it on real film, but I also took pictures of it. And you tell me what you see inside of that. Yeah, screaming people, aliens in there. Do you notice all these things? I'm going to show it again. So when I came home, I was like, wow, I always did things in fire all the time, but I never filmed the fire. So when I saw this, I realized how powerful this was to get rid of those demons that we have. So that was one of my other favorite activities. But you know what I have to say? My favorite was the food. These vegan chefs, there were 2 of them. They were phenomenal. Oh my Lord. Unbelievable. They were unbelievable. And so I'm in gratitude with that. They came out with dessert right after that fire. And let me explain to you, Todd is a great teacher. He was very strong in the very beginning about the judgment, and it's really true about that judgment. So my first out-of-body experience with the group was the first night. I jumped every night, but I was nervous. And all of a sudden I get out of my bed and I start yelling at my roommate and the other one that I made judgment of. It was a male. I'm like, what are you doing in my bedroom? What are you doing in my bedroom? You're disturbing me. I'm trying to have an out-of-body experience. And then I point to my bed. And there I am sleeping. And then I look back at the bed and there's my roommate sleeping. I have already jumped out, and I don't usually look back at my body when I jump, but it was so whacked out in my own mind and then I looked down at myself and I said, oh my God, I'm out of my body. And then I went right up to the ceiling, right onto the ceiling fan, and spun. And I was like, wait a minute, stop. And as soon as I stopped, I'm like, I flew right out of the house, and there was an activity that he wanted us to do. They expected our astral body to go into this barn house and to touch all those paranormal equipment so that we can prove that we've been out there. So of course, there I am at the door, and now they wouldn't let me in. And I'm saying to myself, wait, that's my activity. I'm going to make it. You know, so it was like a barn door. I opened up the barn door, but I saw all luggages. All kinds of luggages from all over the world, different time periods, but the one that I really focused on and wanted to really open up was the one from 1940. It was a 1940 piece of luggage. And then I kept going, oh my gosh, and then out of nowhere, Todd was calling us back, and I came right back into my body, and that's when I woke up. I found out the next morning that they did not put on those paranormal equipment because they couldn't get it to work. So I'm happy that that's probably why they stopped me. But overall, it was amazing. And my second story to this one was when we took the supplements. I remember having a moment that I just rocketed out of my body. And now I have to say that didn't feel good because I don't do that originally. Because I was on these natural supplements, I rocketed all the way to the sky and saw the whole entire universe in starlight. And then all of a sudden they hovered me over the area that I grew up in, which was Hicksville. And it went right over to my house, and then they threw me in another place, and they went right down to the middle of the ground. And that's when I was in a tunnel. And that tunnel, I was kind of like on a conveyor belt, just walking through these tunnels. And as I looked to the right, I would see cave doors that kept going and going. I felt very safe because someone was holding my hand. I felt that person was just there to help me. So I know now that they're light beings. And as soon as they brought me through, they stopped me, and then I turned. And when I looked inside, it was all these little animals, all these white little animals. And I got closer and closer, and I was in front of a glass. So when I looked through it, I was like, oh, they're all white animals. It was wild, and they came right through me that, I got startled, and then I heard the voice and I came back. That's when I realized that there is an underground world. And remember now, it's 2019, and I already had dreams of school being kicked out. So that's why I was like, this is happening for a phenomenal reason. And my opportunity of going with Todd and the group, they were a very big part of my confidence to say that I'm going to talk about my out-of-body experience. And I have to tell you, he's a phenomenal teacher. So I want to thank him personally. And I will go on his next retreat because it's time. Todd, it's time. And I want to thank Sky, Shelly, and Emma for all their wonderful positive encouragement about jumping out and be excited to do these retreats. So hopefully I can help other people. I'm hopefully going to get Todd to be on my channel. He is very needed now. And so I want everybody to know, here's his website. And I'm going to put one of his videos up there because he really does it for the right reason. Todd Acamesis, I hope you know you are needed. So you better start coming back. All right, Out-of-Body Explorers, until next week, press like and subscribe, and I will talk to you then.